Ever been branded an egoist, because you dared to put one of your long-term goals ahead of a girlfriend's weekend whims, then felt the sting of guilt gnawing you into compliance? Picture this: you're 25, hustling double shifts so the down payment on your first apartment finally stops being a dream and starts being a date on the calendar. The woman you love doesn't see a man building a launch pad for the future, she sees lost cocktails, fewer ride shares, a wardrobe shrink. Selfish, she snaps, as if the word were a gavel. One syllable, but it lands like a felony conviction. You rush to defend yourself, explain the math, explain the motive, promise things will ease up soon. Yet every speech only tightens the noose. Why does that label hurt so badly? Because most of us grow up believing that selfishness equals moral bankruptcy. Our reflex is to fix the accusation rather than examine the accuser. Tonight we'll dissect the guilt grenade, expose why it detonates on cue, and draft the firewall that lets ambition and empathy coexist. Miss this conversation and the same charge, egoist, will keep resetting your life to someone else's preferences. Ready to rewrite that script? Let's slice into the problem while it's still raw. Imagine doing nothing about this manipulation. Fast forward 5 years. The apartment fund died in its crib because every time you booked an extra freelance gig she pouted about quality time. Promotion slipped away, you couldn't volunteer for late-stage deadlines without hearing, see, career over love, again. Your bank account flatlined while your resentment fattened. Stretch the timeline 10 years, you're still renting, still borrowing her car, still explaining dreams you never chased. She outgrew the relationship anyway. Turns out, ambitionless isn't attractive. Now reverse catapult to childhood, remember that first guilt trip for choosing Lego over chores. That early loop taught your nervous system that pursuit equals punishment. Skip solving today's dynamic, and both past and future converge into a single repeating montage. Every time you reach for more, someone shouts, selfish, and you retreat, smaller, poorer, and a notch less certain of your own compass. The cost of inaction isn't just lost property, it's identity erosion. Case Study 1, Renzo, 26, coder with a photography side hustle. Girlfriend called him selfish for turning Sunday brunch into Lightroom time. She guiltily confessed an older male mentor, who actually listens. Translation: emotional affair while Renzo footed 80% of rent. When the mentor upgraded to lover, Renzo's self-worth flatlined. He realized every selfish outburst had steered him away from hobbies, friends, and even gym sessions, exactly the traits that first attracted her. Case Study 2, Cesar, junior architect. He earmarked a bonus for an online masterclass. Girlfriend wanted a Bali trip. Word egoist fired, Bali won, class lost. A year later she dumped him for someone more ambitious. The irony could choke you. These examples prove a law: when you cede priorities under accusations of selfishness, you don't become more lovable, you become interchangeable. Because genuine partners admire self-direction, while manipulators feast on its absence. Here's the first antidote: redefine selfishness as self-preservation of vision, SPV. Say it out loud. SPV means safeguarding resources, time, money, mental bandwidth, so you can invest them where ROI is highest for both partners later. Start small, create a non-negotiable hour every day for your cornerstone goal. Announce it once, not defensively, but as a scheduling fact. Then link the benefit: this study hour accelerates the raise that covers our travel budget. Frame boundaries as shared dividends and resistance drops by half. If pushback remains, you've illuminated a power imbalance, not a partnership. Quick community pulse: brothers, what's one boundary you attempted to set this month and exactly how was it challenged? Type it below. Your real-world scenarios forge the upcoming live workshop where we role-play assertive scripts. The more detailed your comment, the more tailored the solutions, and the faster the algorithm pushes mindset content to men who need it. Even with SPV in place, a subtler threat appears: the virtue ambush. She might praise sacrifice in abstract: I adore guys who'd give the shirt off their back, then measure every decision against that saintly standard. Accept that framing and you'll chase moral gold stars forever, never cashable, forever movable. To neutralize the ambush, switch the metric from morality to mutuality. Ask, how does this choice elevate us both? If no concrete answer emerges, you own no adaptation. In raising the bar to mutual benefit, you expose purely extractive requests. Some partners will pivot toward collaboration, others will pivot out. Either way, the filter serves you. Complete framework, EGO. 1. Evaluate the request numerically: money, hours, emotional load. Anything above your threshold enters negotiation. 2. Gauge reciprocity history: has she invested comparably? If not, classify the ask as withdrawal, not partnership. 3. Offer alternatives that protect your core objective: I can't cut overtime, but Friday night is yours, pick the restaurant. Deploy EGO consistently for 90 days. You'll witness 3 outcomes: manipulative guilt trips evaporate, genuine partners flex with you, and your momentum compounds into visible assets: courses finished, savings swelling, physique tightening. The best part? You model healthy selfishness, inspiring her to level up her own goals, turning the relationship into a bullet train instead of a leech. Hint: in next week's video we'll layer dynamic dream mapping, a tactic for synchronizing individual missions without drowning in shared calendars. Stay tuned. But beware relapse. The word egoist is a vocal button wired straight to childhood conditioning. When it's pressed, adrenaline spikes, rational thought dims. Train a micropause, 3 diaphragmatic breaths, name the feeling: I hear criticism, then revisit the EGO checklist. Keep a victory log: every time you hold a boundary, jot the positive ripple: a finished chapter, a calmer mood, an extra client call. Data crushes doubt. After a month the sound of selfish will register like static, not saber. You'll converse instead of defend, and decisions will hinge on logic, not guilt. Tomorrow morning, set one tangible SPV task: maybe researching mortgage rates, maybe drafting the first lesson plan for that certification. Guard it like oxygen. If someone calls you selfish, smile, reply, focused, actually, and continue. Your future self, keys jingling outside a door the bank now calls yours, will applaud the moment you stop letting shame steer your steering wheel. Smash the like button if you're reclaiming that will tonight, subscribe for next week's dream mapping playbook, and share this episode with a brother still drowning in guilt storms. Remember, self-interest isn't a sin, it's the engine that powers every journey worth inviting a passenger on. Stay disciplined, stay decisive, see you in the next upload.